Alright guys, so this video is sponsored by LG, as this is the second pair of earbuds that we're going to talk about today, and the pair that we're going to check out is the new LG Tone-Free Fit. And more specifically, the model is the TF8Q. Now this pair comes in at $199, but the difference between this pair and the original Tone-Frees is this one is aimed more at being active. This is a sports style earbud, as it comes with ear fins that help keep these in your ears, but it also comes in with an IP67 rating. So not only is it dust proof, it is also waterproof, and that just kind of gives you peace of mind if you're going to be using these outdoors, which obviously this pair is aimed at. So you don't have to worry if it starts to rain, you don't have to worry if you sweat heavily, and you still don't have to worry if you just happen to bump them out and they fall into the water. So you generally don't get a waterproof rating with a pair that has active noise canceling, let alone a pair that has very effective active noise canceling, because I feel like the noise canceling on this pair is very comparable to other ones in this price range, and it also has a very impressive ambient mode. So again, if you're going to be using these outdoors, you can hear your surroundings where it sounds pretty natural and it doesn't have that digital sound. And it also has a chat mode, which allows these earbuds to kind of focus in on somebody's voice, somebody that you're talking to, where it makes it easy to carry on a conversation without actually taking these earbuds out. And some other features that these have is it does have the Google Fast Pair and the Microsoft Swift Pair. So as soon as you pop open the lid to the earbuds, if you have an Android phone, you'll see the connection pop up right there on the screen. And the same thing if you're using a Windows PC, you'll see the connection pop up on the bottom right side of the screen. And this just makes it easy to connect and get going. And speaking of the connection, this pair also has multi-point pairing, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. And I love this feature because if I'm watching a movie on a tablet or doing something on my PC and listening to something, if a phone call comes in, it will just allow me to easily switch over and take that phone call without having to go into settings and just manually disconnect from each device. Now this pair does have Bluetooth 5.3, and it doesn't have any high-end Bluetooth codec playback, but it does have AAC and SBC, and luckily throughout my testing I didn't have any kind of compression issues, and I also didn't have any lag when it came to movies or videos. Now there is a slight lag with gaming, but the huge plus with this pair is it does work with LG's app, which not only allows you to keep these earbuds updated, but it also has a gaming mode that you can switch these into, and that just kind of helps cut down on any kind of lag. And that just made things so much better, even with using these with gaming. But also within the app, it has a Find My Earbuds feature. So if you happen to misplace your earbuds, it will help you locate them. It also has some different EQ settings, some pre-built ones that you can switch between. You can also customize the EQ settings if you want. Now there's also a 3D sound mode, which is trying to help open up the audio a little bit more. And then also within the app, it gives you the ability to switch between those different sound modes that I listed earlier. You have your noise canceling on, you can just turn it off. You have the ambient mode, and then you also have that chat mode if you're gonna be where you need to hear somebody talking. And another feature that this pair has, just like LG's other flagship earbuds, is it has the plug and wireless mode. So basically the charging case that this pair comes with, it allows you to plug in the USB-C cable, and then on the other end you have a 3.5mm headphone jack where you can plug it into an airplane's headphone jack, you can plug it into exercise equipment or a gaming device, and it allows you to wirelessly transmit audio just simply by using the case. And that's a huge advantage because if you're in those situations, normally a pair of true wireless earbuds will not allow you to be able to use them, but just by having that feature and being able to switch it on the case just makes it that much more convenient. Now, as far as what they've included inside the box, you do get 3 sets of the ear gels. They've also included 3 sets of the ear fins, which again make it really convenient to keep these in your ears. They've included the 3.5mm to USB-C cables so that again you can plug these into devices that have a normal headphone jack. And then as far as the charging cable, it comes with a USB-C cable. And one thing that I found is very puzzling as to why it's not a feature on these earbuds is this pair doesn't have Qi wireless charging. And that's very confusing, especially for a pair that's in this price range. But speaking of the charging, battery life is very impressive, but it's also a huge gap between using these with the noise canceling off and the noise canceling on. Because if you just use these with the noise canceling turned off, you can get about 10 hours of battery life on the earbuds with about 30 hours total using the case. But if you just use these with the noise canceling left on, that brings the battery life down to about 6 hours on the earbuds and about 18 hours using the case. So that is a huge gap, but that also shows you that the noise canceling is very effective on this pair. But if you do happen to pick the earbuds up and they are dead, there is a fast charge feature, although a very minimal one, where a 5-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. Now moving over to looking at the case, I do like the textured grip that it has on the outside. It just allows you to just have a better grip on the case. And on the back you can see the USB-C input for charging. And then around on the side it has that switch that I was talking about earlier that allows you to put these into that 3.5mm wired mode. And then around on the front you have a single indicator light. And this is what allows you to gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now moving over to looking at the earbuds, unlike LG's other flagship models, this pair does not have the stem style design, it just has the simple earbud design. And again, because of that ear hook, it makes it a very comfortable pair, but also a pair that you don't have to worry is going to fall out of your ears. The controls on this pair does use touch controls, and because it works with LG's app, you can go in and switch around some of the controls so that you can have control over everything that you need. Your play, pause, skipping your tracks forward, going backwards, and also your volume control. But if you're gonna have those controls, do keep in mind you may have to sacrifice the ability to have your noise canceling and ambient mode switch, so you might have to go into the app to actually do that when you need it. But another feature is this pair does have the smart sensors, so if you do take your earbuds out of your ears, it will just automatically pause, and then once you put them back in, it will just go back to what you were listening to. Now for you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, just like the other LG models, I feel like these do a very good job of picking up my voice. And I also think even in noisy environments, these do an excellent job of blocking out my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test using the LG Tone Free Fit. And again, just like with the other LG models, I think it picks up my voice very cleanly. It does have a slight warm tone to it, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. And one thing that I found very interesting, because you normally don't see this, is LG has it where the bass boost EQ setting is turned on out of the box. And again, I think that's because this pair is geared more towards being a sport or athletic style earbud, because usually you want something that's going to have a very dynamic sound, which means a punchy bass, a bright treble, and just something that's a little more in your face if you're going to be working out. But even though the bass boost mode is on out of the box, this is not a overly bloated type of bass. It has plenty of punch to it, but it's fairly quick. It's not sitting around and it's not rolling over the mids and the highs, because the mids came through clearly no matter what genre I was listening to, and the treble has a very nice clean overall sound. Now this is not a bright or harsh treble. I would basically say that they took the EQ curve and boosted the bass halfway, but they also kind of pulled the treble halfway to kind of balance that out. And they only slightly boosted the mids just so that it didn't get buried, especially if you're listening to something chaotic. I mean, I even think this pair sounded great with metal, and in some more chaotic genres, it just didn't get congested or muddy. And that leans to the fact that one thing that's very impressive about this pair is the soundstage and the sound imaging. Now, usually a dynamic sounding pair of earbuds tend to sound a little bit more closed in, but this pair has a lot of space to it. It is a very open sounding earbud, and I think they did an excellent job of being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. So my overall opinion is, yes, at $200, it's putting itself up there against a lot of the mid to upper tier true wireless earbuds. It is very puzzling, the fact that this pair does not have Qi wireless charging, which I don't really understand. The fast charge, even though it does have one, I feel like it's on the lower scale. We've seen better on a lot of other models out there, But I think the huge selling point is you're getting a sport pair of earbud that has very impressive active noise canceling. It is completely waterproof, which you normally don't see with a noise canceling pair of earbuds. And a lot of the other things like the gaming mode, if you're going to use these for media, and that wired mode being able to plug into devices on top of just using these as a normal pair of true wireless earbuds, is bringing some other features that those other earbuds in this price range don't have. So I think from an athletic standpoint, this is going to be considered one of the higher tier models that you can get. And I think that they're bringing enough to the table and have a very impressive audio quality to warrant that price tag. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new LG tone-free Fit. Again, the model on these is the TF8Qs. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.